Hey guys, Mike from Magnanimous here, and today we're coming from you outside for part 2 of our Movi Pro car rig build. We have a car behind us that we're going to be rigging up the Movi on, and we're going to be using what's called the Matthews car mount system. If you haven't used a car mount system before, this system builds off of 3 main suction cups that are then going to attach to this cheese plate, which is the reason we chose the Matthews car mount, is because with this cheese plate, we can take this little guy right here, which is called the Freefly Ninja Star. It has a toad attachment, which we'll use to attach our Movi Pro to our cheese plate to mount it to our car. Now, before we go ahead and start building up, a few things you want to make sure you do anytime you're working with a car mount system is to clean whatever area you're going to be attaching to make sure that you don't have dirt and debris, because that can affect the suction cups attaching properly. So we're just going to take some of this Windex here, and we're just going to give a nice spray down of the front of the hood, because we're going to attach right down on the front. Goal being to be able to shoot in any direction with the rig, both interior and outerior of the car, so that we can do all sorts of different creative B-roll shots with it. So we've got this nice and clean so we can attach to it, so we're good with that. And we can go ahead and start attaching our car mount system. Each of the suction cups are going to get a baby spud. So we're just gonna thread this down. And I'm not using a wrench, but I am gonna make sure that this has a very, very tight, secure thread on it. And our last one here. Now, typically our Matthews car mount system would have a series of rods so that you could spread these suction cups out around the car, because anytime that you're doing a car mount, you want to create triangles, because triangles are the strongest shape. They divert your force evenly throughout everything. So when we're attaching these to the hood of the car, we want to think about triangles and how we're going to attach these. I'm going to go ahead and remove my covers here. And we just want to find a position that's going to be ideal for our weight. I don't want to go too low on the car, because then we're going to see a lot of the bottom in a shot if we flip around this way. So I'm purposely going to mount as high up as I can, but I'm going to put the base of my triangle on the bottom so it evenly spreads that weight out, and it's going to help keep my system from tipping or anything like that. I'm not going to attach these yet, because I'm going to attach everything to the cheese plate, and then we'll drop it down. That way I know my suction cups all line up properly. If we mounted here, it would be a little hard to fit everything down properly, but we know roughly the area we're looking for and where we want these guys to attach. So we'll pop back over to our cart. This is another important thing. You know, anytime you're doing a build like this, make sure you have a work surface to build off of. It's very challenging to do this if you don't. We'd either be on the ground or trying to build everything on the hood, which could damage the hood or something like that. So you want to have a nice, easy place to build from. And now that we have our suction cups figured out, let's go ahead and start rigging to our cheese plate. There are a series of beveled sockets here in our cheese plate where these 3/8 screws are going to socket in. And I'm going to go ahead and put a pin at each corner and then one in the center to create that triangle so that we can attach those the suction cups. So we'll go ahead and just tighten these guys down. There's an Allen key that you'll want to use, which will just help get these nice and tight and secure. And we'll do one more on our other corner. And we'll do the top of our triangle. Great. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach our Ninja Star. You'll notice in the center of it that there's a 3/8 mounting screw. So we're going to just throw that right in the center of our cheese plate, and we will tighten this guy down. I'm not only going to use the one center mounting screw though, because I don't think that's going to fully secure this well enough down to the rig. So we have 1/4-20 mounting screws throughout. I'm going to align those so I can run a thread through my cheese plate, and then I can take 2 1/4-20 mounting screws and I'm just going to run them through, and they're going to be my second level of security for my Ninja Star. And then we'll just go ahead and tighten everything down, make sure it's nice and secure. And then the last piece we need are these 2 hooks. Those will connect to this ratchet strap here, which is going to be our last safety bit. I don't ever like to just rely on suction cups, because if a suction cup fails, you do want to have some form of a secondary connection. So the ratchet strap is going to be that secondary connector for us. So I'm going to add a hook to each side of our cheese plate so that I can run that ratchet strap around our car. Great. And obviously our suction cups aren't going to connect well to here, so we have a knuckle that's going to attach to each of these, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach one knuckle to each side. I like to look for where our thumb knob attaches and where the beveled area of our pin is, because that's going to really lock it together and make sure it's not going to come loose. So I'm going to purposely angle that so that that thread will attach right to that beveled section, and I know that those are locked together and they're not coming loose. And we'll do the same thing with all our other sides. And then I'm just going to run a suction cup into each of these. I'm just looking for a rough placement right now, because as we drop our mount down onto the car, I'll loosen each of these knuckles and allow the suction cup to find its own placement, and then I'll lock our rig down to it when we're ready. So this right here is roughly the suction build for it. So let's go ahead and drop this onto the hood of our car here. You'll notice that clearly they're not all lining up properly because I locked everything down. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen each of these thumb knobs, and I'm going to start to secure these suction cups. I'll do my top one first, which is just pushing in this release here as it pulls in that, or pulls out all the air. And once it's fully secured, you'll notice that little red line that's on the press will stay inside the suction cup, which signifies that it's fully tightened down. And we'll go ahead and do that same thing for each of our suction cups here. I don't like how close these suction cups were, so I'm just going to arm this one out a little bit just to give it a slightly wider base. It's the nice thing with these suction cups, if you accidentally tighten one down in the wrong place, just lift up on the tabs on the side. It'll very easily loosen up, and we can rearrange its position and relock it down. Great, now that all those are set, we'll just go ahead and get our platform locked down in place. And now it's time for the ratchet strap. Each end of the ratchet strap has a silver hook, and I'm just gonna hook that around like so. We do want to make sure that the ratchet strap is nice and straight. You don't want it to get twisted as it's going. And there's a few different ways we could attach the ratchet strap. Because I'm looking for a universal rig that can shoot inside the car and outside, I'm not going to run them in through the doors because it could interfere with the shot inside the car. So instead, let me move the cart out of your way so you guys can see. I'm gonna run my strap behind my wheel well here, so it locks into the corner of my car right here, and I'm gonna run that around both sides so that it locks everything down onto the hood. To do that, I'm just gonna start with this end over here. We'll hook it. All right. And we're just gonna make sure that it pulls nice and straight from the other side. And I'm looking for it to be tucked into the pocket right there because I don't want it slipping forward and getting hit by my tire or anything like that as we're driving around. And so now we're just gonna feed this into the ratchet here. And we can start to tighten it down. Looks like we're twisting just a little bit, so I'm going to loosen out a little bit so that I can make sure that that's nice and straight, because I don't want any bends or twists, because that represents something that's not fully tight. And we're just going to tighten down as tight as we can so that this stays nice and secure. And if all goes according to plan, this will be nice and secure, tight down, and it's not moving anywhere. I do always want to do a safety check where I double check that all of my thumb knobs are tightened down as tight as they can go, because I don't want anything coming loose. So right now I'm just double checking those are all nice and tight. Ratchet straps nice and tight. Perfect. Now we can actually attach our camera to our car mount now that we know it's nice and secure and not going anywhere. For that, we have our coffin case from the other day, because who wants to have to rebuild an entire Movi rig while we're outside? So I have everything pre-built right here. And we're just gonna very carefully pull it out, and we are gonna drop our toad in the hole right down onto our car mount. And then I always like to readjust my latch, because the latch typically shows which direction is front for the Movi. We may still need to adjust it a little bit by turning so that we make sure that the Movi's forward is the front of our car. But if you put both of your buttons to each side and the back of the latch here, so you're essentially latching it away from your body, should be the front. So I'll lock him down like so. Then, anytime that you're working with a Movi system, you never want to jump straight into booting up. We want to go ahead and double check our balance for one, because we don't want that to be off or anything like that, and then boot the system up and do any fine-tune balancing that we need to do. I'm going to go ahead and flip so that my camera is positioned in the proper direction. The great thing with the Movi Pro is you can boot up underslung like this, where it'll hang your camera underneath the crossbar, or you can flip it over and boot up like this, and it'll boot up in this orientation for us once we're done. And I'm just going to do a quick check on my motors. Looks like I'm slightly front heavy here, so I'm just going to do a slight adjustment to make sure my front to back balance is good. Great, and then we can go ahead and boot the system up. So this is what I was talking about before, where it boots up with whatever is front to the gimbal. So what we've done is mounted it so that front faces this direction. And we just want to reestablish that so it points to me. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn the system back off. Look at the orientation of my clip down here, and I'm just going to adjust that so that it moves 90 degrees so the camera boots up facing me towards the front over here. Go ahead and boot him up. And then we'll want to do an auto tune. So I have my phone here. We'll go ahead and connect to the Movi Pro app, because anytime that you've changed shooting scenarios, you do want to do a new auto tune. It'll tune based on us being outside with the current wind and things like that to set the proper settings for our build here. Phone's being very slow to connect. One of the great things about the Movi Pro is it has the control box on the back, so I can do my tuning from right back here. So I'll go ahead and just have it start tuning from here. And then it looks like I left our Mimic control unit inside, so while it's auto tuning, I'll be right back with that. I just gotta grab it from off the table. One of the cores of our build today is our Mimic control unit, because it's what's going to do our follow focus control. It's also how we're going to control our red settings. So I'm going to go ahead and calibrate our focus motor here. Not wanting to calibrate, so we're just going to reconnect our cables, make sure everything's nice and tight, nothing came loose while we were in our coffin. Yeah, so it just looks like our Mimic is having some trouble connecting with our Movi, which is why he's not calibrating. So I'm just gonna reboot, make sure that connection's good. There we go. So it ended up being our channel. We were on channel 3. I switched this to channel 4. There might be some additional radio interference that's coming in through the sides or from other signals in the area, which could explain why that was having trouble. We're calibrating our motor here, and we can go ahead and get our Mimic control unit set up here. And let's get our cart out of the way so you guys can see this thing in action. And we'll boot up camera. And now, as you can see, I have focus control. I'm spinning and my focus dial is turning. And I can switch over to our Mimic control. Let me match my position there. And now I have control over my gimbal. So I can make the shot that I want. I've got video of our camera here so that I can position everything. And we can go ahead and get our polarizer in the front situated so that we're cutting the window properly. So I'm just gonna get this positioned. I can use pan adjust to readjust my body to match this. And I'm just going to, well, we're in luck actually. The position we're at right now is perfect, so we're cutting through the window. Unfortunately, the glare's too high for me to show you guys that right now, but this is our Movi Pro Build. For the car mount, I could sit in the back seat of the car and control this. I could sit in a different vehicle or something like that. We're gonna cut to some footage that we shot of this rig so that you guys can see this thing in action. So let's go ahead and cut to that. All right, well, as you guys can see, this is a really awesome build, capable of a lot of different shots, whether it be inside the car, or I can easily flip it around for a shot for exteriors or something like that. Very, very flexible. If you guys are interested in checking out this rig,
feel free to give us a call or visit magrents.com. If you guys are interested in streaming anything yourself, visit us. We have all the gear that you need. Our partners over at perfectcircle.pro can help you out, not only with gear, but crew to help with the stream as well. This was a recommended build that you guys wanted to see, so comment below and let me know what stuff you guys want to see down the road, and we'll build and highlight the gear that you guys are interested in. We're going live every Tuesday at 5 p.m., so tune in next week. I'll plan to see you guys there. This has been the Movi Pro Car Mount Build.